Tonight we celebrate the life and legacy of an extraordinary woman, a true champion of the arts, business, education, and humanity. We're talking about Elaine Wynn. Elaine was an impactful businesswoman, but it was her passion for art, education, and community that really left an indelible mark on our state and inspired all of us who were fortunate enough to know her to work and be as accomplished and as successful as she was at making a difference. She was a past recipient of the Silver State Award's Trailblazer Award. It is an honor that now bears her name. And over the years, she graced the stage to present Silver State Awards to others who shared her spirit of excellence and generosity. So we're grateful for all of you that have joined us to recognize the difference Elaine made in the lives of so many. And honored to have several distinguished guests with us tonight to share personal reflections on Elaine's remarkable legacy. And first, we have a special video montage celebrating Elaine Wynn's memorable moments at the Silver State Awards.
Joining me now is the winner of the prestigious Trailblazer Award, Elaine Wynn. Now, I know you pretty well. I bet you don't even think of yourself as a trailblazer, do you?
Not in the least bit. I think of it only because I'm probably the oldest woman around, and that it's kind of an honorary for surviving this many years in Las Vegas.
The next award presented this evening is the Trailblazer Award. That is an honorary award. The award honors leaders that best represent independence, talent, vision, innovation, and whose career-spanning work has spearheaded and helped shape as well as define their industry. They've achieved excellence in their profession. They've made direct innovation in their career, producing long-term results, and they've inspired others.
Anyone who's ever had an in-depth conversation with Elaine knows her passion for education. Here she is a trailblazer in more ways than even I can enunciate here in the short time I've been given. Not just with communities and schools, which you've heard about, but her advocacy on behalf of public education is long and consistent. I've had a lot of conversations over the years with Elaine about this, and she's not only enlightened me at times, but she also has a rare quality, and not just with me, among someone of her elevated stature. She actually listens. It's truly an honor to be here to present this award to Elaine Wynn. No one I can think of more richly deserves it than Elaine does.
I had no idea I was coming to a roast. I was told this was a very dignified affair. But it just goes to show you how much of a neighborhood we're all in when we can get up here and banter with one another and enjoy each other's company. So, yes. So I've never considered myself to be a trailblazer. I said to Jon, I guess that means it's because I'm so old, I was one of the first here on the trail. But what I really do feel like is a trail widener, and hoping that someday the trail widens so much that it's a superhighway, and that it's a superhighway for all of us, for women and for the enlightened men who support us, because together is what this will result in a better time for all of us. I've had the wonderful opportunity to be active in other cities and other communities, and so I leave Las Vegas on occasion, but I was here on that fateful night. And I do recall, after watching how this community came together, how proud I was to be from the Silver State. So thank you.
That's what we have special guests here tonight that would like to pay tribute to Elaine Wynn. The first is the founder and CEO of the Nevada Independent. He's been a leading voice in Nevada politics for more than 35 years. His career began with the Las Vegas Review-Journal, where he wrote for 15 years before launching his own influential blog, Ralston Reports, in 2012. now part of the Nevada Independent. And over the years, he's written for the Las Vegas Sun and the Reno Gazette-Journal. He has a great national reputation as one of the state's most trusted and insightful political journalists. Please welcome Jon Ralston.
Good evening, everybody. Thanks, Kendall. Kendall and I used to work together way back when I had a lot more hair. I have to say, before I say a few words about Elaine, and Mark Davis, you may know this, she was a huge sports fan, and she would have been celebrating the Aces with everybody else. Go Aces. So it's an honor to be here to talk about one of the best people I've ever known. Elaine Wynn was a lot of things to a lot of people, a philanthropist, an education advocate, a gaming industry leader. But she was all those things and much more than that. I want to talk briefly about an aspect of Elaine that many did not know, and too many in the Las Vegas constellation of leaders don't always have. Elaine cared. She cared very deeply and passionately about many things, here, nationally, and internationally. She didn't have to care, of course. She could have simply lived a privileged life, stayed out of the fray, retreated into the background. But there was no retreat in Elaine Wynn. She was fierce, dedicated, determined. She was a woman of the world, but she was so grounded, and she loved Nevada, even though that became more difficult for her with time. But she did a lot of good here and elsewhere, as many of you sitting right here tonight know. Elaine and I were not close friends, but we liked and respected each other. We had lunch once or twice a year, talked on the phone a bit, and exchanged a lot of emails. I was looking through those emails as I prepared for this tribute, and I found dozens of exchanges between us. I'm not sure people realize just how smart Elaine was and just how opinionated. I chuckled as I found a few times she told me I was wrong. She gave little ground. But our disagreements were few and far between, and her many compliments were so meaningful, not the blandishments of a politician or a lobbyist. She was an early and consistent supporter when I started the Nevada Independent in 2017, encouraging me with words and financial support along the way. She actually knew a lot about journalism, as she knew a lot about a lot of things. She was constantly sending me stories from other publications and urging me to publish op-eds. Of course, as has already been mentioned, Elaine also knew a lot about the arts and, of course, art itself. She was on the Kennedy Center board and co-chaired the LA County Art Museum board. And I can still hear the excitement in her voice, as some of you in here might have as well, when she talked to me about her proposal for a Las Vegas Museum of Art. And she made a call to me once when the funding was in question, wondering if she would jeopardize a city council vote if she didn't donate to a member of that body for his latest race. It was classic Elaine Wynn. All that mattered to her was making sure the project got done. As Elaine and I got to know each other over the years, we opened up more to each other about personal stuff too. I still vividly remember one lunch when she suddenly unburdened herself, got emotional. That she felt safe to do that with me, to show a side of herself few got to see, was so meaningful. I thought about it all the afternoon afterwards and the next day, and I still think of it often. The last email I have from Elaine came less than a month before her death to set up our annual lunch. I was, as always, looking forward to it, and I was devastated when I heard the news. Elaine was a remarkable woman, and I was so lucky to know her. She may be gone, but her legacy will live on. She was a pioneer in so many ways, but I always remember her as a friend who quite simply, quite relentlessly cared. Thank you.
Please keep it going for Jon. Thank you so much, Jon. Our next speaker, please join me in welcoming a visionary who has helped redefine what hospitality and entertainment looks like in Las Vegas. As the Chief Marketing Officer of Resorts World Las Vegas, Ron Nicoli leads with creativity, innovation, a deep understanding of culture, with a career that has spanned some of the most influential brands in nightlife, hospitality, and luxury experiences. Ron has built a reputation for bringing bold ideas to life, ideas that don't just market a destination, but create movements. Under his leadership, Resorts World Las Vegas has become one of the most dynamic and forward-thinking properties on the Strip, merging world-class experiences with next-generation storytelling, from crafting unforgettable guest journeys to connecting global audiences with the energy and excitement of Las Vegas. Ron continues to push boundaries of what is possible. Please welcome to the stage, Ron Nicoli.
First, I wanted to thank Paulo for having me here tonight and for choosing this venue. I wanted to thank everyone for coming out tonight. Really incredible crowd. To echo, you really could have been anywhere in the world and you chose to be here tonight. So wanted to thank everyone. Mark Davis, told you already, but congratulations. We know she was definitely watching last night, so congratulations. A tribute to Elaine Wynn. Definition of class. Moving from a small town in Ohio, I often thought about what true class meant, especially when it came to a woman. My early images of class were icons like Princess Diana or Jacqueline Kennedy. But the first time I was truly in the presence of someone who embodied that same sense of grace, poise, and quiet strength was Elaine. Pure class in every way. The first meeting with Elaine was at a brunch at Tableau, introduced by a good friend, Scott Minke. Rest in peace. I was working at Wynn as a promoter at the time, never expecting to cross paths with someone like her. She was instantly engaging, curious, warm, genuinely interested in me and what I was doing. It was one of those rare first encounters where you knew you had just met someone unforgettable. Many years later, at the opening of Resort World, she arrived. She asked where I was. We had an executive chat on WhatsApp, and soon I found myself walking her around the property arm in arm. We ended up sitting together at Fuhu, and the conversation became one of my favorite memories. Listening to her stories, her reflections, her perspective on Vegas, it felt like a full circle moment. There was friendship beyond work. Over the years, our friendship grew beyond the industry. We'd have lunches every few months, usually at Bagel Mania. Even after I left Wynn, she never changed. Still supportive, still teasing me all the time, and still full of light. She had that rare quality. She saw you, not your title, not your circumstance. The last conversation, the last message with Elaine was the day after the Wynn team member Day 1 celebration, just the kind of moment she loved. The last thing I texted her was about lunch, asking when we were going to get together again. She read it but didn't reply. I remember feeling something was off. She read it, didn't reply, and about a week later, I woke up to the news of her passing. Something as special as our lunches will stay with me for the rest of my life. A legacy of Elaine. She was more than a businesswoman. She was a leader. She was a mentor. She was a friend. She carried herself with elegance and led with warmth. I'll miss seeing her at the Aces game, our lunches, her unmatched ability to make people feel valued. There's rarely a week that goes by that I don't think about her, her advice, her stories, her laughter. For me, she will always represent true class and true friendship. Elaine, you are missed, but never forgotten. Thank you.
Thank you, Ron. That was beautiful. Elaine had enormous impact on education in this state. Here to talk about her impact, please welcome Tammy Hance-Lerner, State Director and CEO of Communities and Schools, and once again, Bart Patterson, past President of Nevada State University.
You know, it was wonderful to watch the video, and it reminded me of all the many great things that Elaine did for our community. Elaine is part of a distinguished group of Las Vegans that have been recognized at the Silver State Awards for their enduring legacy in helping our community. True rock stars like Elaine like Harry Reid, Jim Rogers, Brian Sandoval, Senator Cortez Masto, Senator Rosen, Congresswoman Titus, Senator Bryan, Governor Miller, and so many more. Elaine was not fond of receiving awards, but I think back at how emotional she was, and you saw it on the video, when she received the very first Trailblazer Award that Jon Ralston and I were honored to present. And the privilege of sitting with her, along with Mark Davis, Elizabeth Blau, and Poonam Mathur, when she presented awards to others, and all the people that came up after the ceremony that wanted their pictures with her, and she was so gracious to take pictures with everyone that came up. That was the kind of person that she was. She was very much about people, and she was very much about improving our community for everyone. Elaine demonstrated a true passion for improving our schools and helping kids. You heard about her work with communities and schools, and it was her generous contributions, but it was more than that. It was her time commitment. It was her commitment of her enthusiasm. It was a commitment of her energy, and that was special. In addition to her legacy of the amazing work of communities and schools, she also co-chaired the Las Vegas After Schools All-Stars serving low-income youth. She co-chaired the 2011 Nevada Blue Ribbon Commission on Improving Schools, and she was appointed by Governor Sandoval to 2 terms on the State Board of Education. So she really lived what she believed in. She was also heavily invested in higher education, particularly at UNLV. She was the chair of the UNLV Foundation for many years, and she really was part of the promotion of UNLV to be more academically oriented and to raise that profile. She also contributed through her foundation to Nevada State University and to College of Southern Nevada. I received a note recently from Mayor Goodman, who wasn't able to be here, and I want to share that. I admired and shared a longtime friendship with Elaine for the 50 years we were in Las Vegas together, having both come from the East Coast. Our families grew up together as we watched this town to begin to become all that it could be. I'm sorry I cannot be there, as I would be honored to speak about this glorious woman and devoted member of our community. Elaine's legacy will continue to live on in the successful lives of the thousands of kids that she impacted and continue to impact to this day. Thank you.